we put our name after the A01?
The three harakat are the fatha, the dhamma, the kasra. Okay? And the non-harakat, we have sukoon and shadda. Okay? Sukoon and shadda. For example, sukoon, bayt, baytin, baytin, which is the ya. And example for shadda, ash-shams, which is the sun. Here, the sheen has a shadda. And here the ya has sukoon. And then we have the tanween. Tanween fatha pronounces as an. Tanween dhamma pronounces as un. Tanween kasra is pronounced as sin. Here, maybe it needs. Tanween kasra. Sin. Tanween kasra. Sin. Okay. Usually, I use the Arabic typesetting font. I can use Tahoma. Also, you can use Tahoma. But Arabic setting font is designed for Arabic. Okay. So, and you should have it in your when you install the Arabic keyboard, you should have this font there, or use any other font as long as it gives you the harakat and the tashkil visible. That's what we want. So Muhammadan, Muhammadun, Muhammadin. So if you have masjid, masjidun, okay, this is how it pronounces. It pronounces like masjidun, but it's not written. So the noon is not written. So the tanween sounds like noon, but the noon is not written. Okay. Now, you notice that in tanween, if the tanween is two fatha, we add alif at the end. And the tanween should be rated on the top of the alif. So for example, Muhammadan, you notice I added an alif here and the tanween is on the top of the alif. So this applies to all letters, to all words, or to all letters, except when the letter is ta marboota. If it's ta marboota, then we don't add the alif. And for Hamza, you can do both. You can add alif or you don't add alif. It's up to you. You can add alif or not add alif. It's up to you. Okay? And the two types of ta, we have ta maftuha, open ta, which is like this one, bent, bent. And you have ta marboota, which is pronounced as ha if you stop at it. Otherwise, it pronounces as ta, like qitta. If you stop, you say qitta. But if you continue, you say qittatu Muhammad, for example, Muhammad's cat. Qittatu Muhammad. So because we didn't stop at it, it's pronounced as ta. But if we stop at it, we say qitta. We don't say qittatu. We say qitta. And then the mad letter, the alif, the waw, the ya. And the alif is preceded by fatha, the waw is preceded by dhamma, and the ya is preceded by kasra. These are the mad letters. And the types of Hamza, we have Qata Hamza. Whenever you see the letter 3 here, whenever you see the letter 3, it means Ayn. It means Ayn. The letter Ayn is, because in the English there's no Ayn, so we use the letter 3. So that's Qata. This is how you read this word, Qata. So Hamzatul Qata. Qata Hamza, okay, is always pronounced. Okay. Okay. Now, it is written on the top of the alif. Ahmed, like Ahmed, or Dhamma, Ukhruj, or Kasra, Ilab. And unfortunately, the font here is not showing the haraka. The haraka on the top of there is supposed to be Dhamma, but the font is not showing it. Let's see if we change the font. Would that help? Yeah, I think it's better. Yeah, becomes better. Okay. It becomes better now. Okay. So either Fatha, A, like Ahmed, or Dhamma, U, like Ukhruj, and Kasra, like E, Ilab. Now, Hamzatul Wasl, it will look like this. And it's not pronounced unless you start reading from it. So if you start reading from it, then it's Ushkur. But if it's preceded by word and you're continuing, it's not pronounced. So for example, Anta Ushkur. Anta Ushkur. It's not Anta Ushkur. It's Anta Ushkur. So you notice that it's not pronounced. And to recognize whether the Hamza is Qata or Wasl, you look at on the top of the Alif or on the bottom. If you have a Hamza, then it's Qata. But Hamzatul Wasl will look like this. You look on the top of the Alif, so you see it like this. The Hamza that comes onto the Alif Lam is always Wasl Hamza. See, Al-Bint, Ma'al-Bint. So, Al-Bint, Ma'al-Bint. See here, the Hamza is not pronounced, Ma'al-Bint. But here, it's pronounced because we start at it, so it's Al-Bint. And the sound of the Wasl Hamza depends on the haraka of the third letter. If the third letter is Dhamma, then it's pronounced as Dhamma. Otherwise, it's pronounced like Kasra. Okay? All right. The types of Lam, we have Lam Shamsiyya and Lam Qamariya. Lam Shamsiyya, Lam Qamariya, which is Moon Lam, Moon being being the moon itself, Al-Qamar. Lam is always pronounced. For example, Al-Qamar. You don't say Al-Qamar, you say Al-Qamar. Okay? If it was Lam Shamsiyya, then you say Al-Qamar. But it's Lam Qamariya, which needs to be pronounced. And we know that because it will have a sukoon on the top. It will have a visible sukoon on the top. Now, Moon Lam is not followed by Shadda. the letter that comes after noon, after the moon lam, is not followed by shadda. And usually it happens with these letters. A, if the lam is followed by one of those letters, then it is going to be Hamza, I'm sorry, it's going to be lam qamariya, such as al-asnan, al-jazar, al-kharuf, al-ghazal, al-qalam, al-mushaf, al-ward, al-burtuqal, al-husan, al-alam, al-fatiha, al-kitab, al-hatif, al-yad. You notice that the letter that comes after the lam here, it's al-alif. So that's why this is al-alif. Example of al-ba here, al-burtuqal. The lam is followed by ba. Example of the jim, al-jazar. The lam is followed by jim. Example of ha, it's al-husan. The lam is followed by ha. Example of kha, al-kharuf. The lam is followed by kha. Example of ayn. The lam is followed by ayn. Al-alam. Example of ghayn, al-ghazal. The lam is followed by ghayn. Here the lam is followed by fa. It's an example of the fa. Al-fatiha. Example of the qaf. Al-qalam. The lam is followed by qaf. Here, example of the kaf. Example of the kaf is al-kitab. The lam is followed by kaf. Example of the meme. Example of the meme. Al-mushaf. The lam is followed by meme. And example of the ha. The lam is followed by ha. It's al-hatif. Example of the waw. The lam is followed by waw. Al-ward. Example of the ya. The lam is followed by ya. It's al-yad. And it's actually easy because none of these letters have shadda on the top. If you don't have shadda on the top, then it's a moon lam. So the way we figure it out, if it doesn't have a shadda on the top, then it's moon lam. Then it's a moon lam, because the sun lam will have a shamsa shadda on the top. Will have a shadda on the top. So ash-shams, and the lam will not have a sukoon on the top. The sukoon on the top of the shams is on the lam is not visible. It's invisible, such as ash-shams. And usually the letter that comes after the lam has a shadda. Then it's a sun lam. Then it's a moon lam. I'm sorry. Then it's a sun lam. Okay. And usually it happens with these letters. If the lam is followed by one of those letters, then it's lam shamsiyya, sun lam. There are built-in sukoon and harakat that don't change regardless of i'rab. I'rab means grammar. Regardless of the grammar, position, grammar classification, it's always built in there. It doesn't change. Okay. So now we go to homework number 2. Homework number 2. You can do it PDF. If you open it as PDF file, then what happens is that you can't type. Usually you can't type on PDF unless you use the typewriter feature. in PDF. For example, you open homework number 2, or let me show it to you from here, from the class website. You open homework number 2. You save it to your hard drive somewhere. And you open it. Okay. And then you can use the, okay, actually open it using Adobe. And then you can use the typewriter feature or text box. And I think this text box feature is available in the free PDF. No, it's not comment. It's here somewhere.
I think it's on the top.
Where?
Something you like. You see these T's over here. I think.
Oh, it's right there. Use the text box. And then you come here and then you type, for example, animal. Okay. Like that. You can change the font, make it a little bit smaller. Or make the box a little bit bigger. Like that. You can do this. Okay. Or much easier than that is to open the Word file. So if you go back, it's to open the Word file here. It asks you to save it, so you save it somewhere, and then you open it. Enable editing, and then you start doing the homework. Here is required to identify the sun lamp, which is the lam al-shamsiyya, or the moon lamp, which is the lam al-qamariyya, for the following words, and put the proper tashkil. And usually in the homework, I do a few as an example for you to show you. If the lamp has a sukoon on the top, okay, then it's a moon lamp. If it doesn't have sukoon on the top, then it's sun lamp, such as this one. That's one way to tell. Another way to tell is that there are 3 ways to tell if the lamp is shamsiyya or qamariyya. The first way is to look at the lamp. If the lamp doesn't have sukoon, then it's lam shamsiyya. But if the lamp has a sukoon, then it's lam qamariyya. This is one way to tell. Another way to tell is if the letter that comes after the lam has shadda, then it's lam shamsiyya. If it doesn't have a shadda, then it's lam qamariyya. That's the second way to tell. The third way to tell is by looking at the letter that follows. If the lam is followed by these letters, then it's lam qamariyya. If it is followed by these letters, then it's lam shamsiyya. So you have three ways to tell if the lam is shamsiyya or the lam is qamariyya. So here, okay, so here it's followed by ha, and I'm not putting sukoon on, I'm not putting any tashkil so that you can tell. Okay, so this is, the lam is followed by ha. Okay, so we go back here to the book. The lam is followed by ha. So it's lam qamariyya. So you do the tashkil. Now, how do you do the tashkil? You use a website called Mishkal. So you start Mishkal, and then you paste the word and click Tashkil. So it comes to you, and as you can see, the lam has a sukoon on the top. Okay, so you copy this, and then you paste to the homework solution. Like that. Okay, and make the size of the font. Here, make the font traditional Arabic, make it same size, 16, like all of them are 16. And then the translation. So you take this word and you go to translate.google.com, and then you paste translates as animal. So you copy, and then you go back to your homework and paste animal. Okay, and we said that we figured out the lamb, that it is a moon lamb. Okay, so al-alam, the lamb is followed by ayn. So we go back to the grammar book. If it's followed by ayn, then it's lam qamariya, moon lamb. Okay, so we go here, that's a moon lamb. And to find out the tashkil, you copy and you go to the Mishkal website, you paste, and then click Tashkil. It's Al-Alam, and you notice that the lam has a sukoon on the top, so that's Qamariya. And then you go to the homework, and then replace this with the one that has Tashkil. Now, translation, you go to Google Translator. Okay, Google Translator. the scientist, all the world. So there are multiple. So you copy the translation by clicking on this button, and you go back here, you paste the translation, and you can just delete that, even though you need that because it's al-alim, al-alam. It's al-alim, so that needs to be replaced with kasra. And you change this to Arabic. And change this to kasra. Al-alim, scientist. And the noon is, we determined it's a moon. An-nafs, so to determine if it's a noon lam, if it's a moon lam or not, you go back to the book, you see that noon belongs to sun lam, and I can tell you if it's a sun lam, I can tell you that the noon is going to have shadda on the top, because that's a way to tell if the noon, if the letter that follows has shadda on the top, then it must be a sun lam. So now I know it is a moon, it is a sun lam. So when I go back to the homework, I say sun lam. And to do the tashkil, I copy an-nafs, and I go to the Mishkal website, and click Tashkil. See, the noon has shadda. The noon has shadda, and the lam doesn't have sukoon. If when you try to highlight, it gives you this, then you can't copy. So you click on the escape, or you just do the tashkil again. Now you can highlight it. What I'm talking about, if you click once, it gives you this box, then you can't highlight it. Won't let you highlight it. So you just click Tashkil again and highlight it. Okay? And go back to the homework. You replace this, paste as text. When you paste it as text, it takes the default format. And it is soul. You go to the dictionary. Google Translator. النفس, self or soul. You copy the translation. You go back to your homework. Soul. Soul or self. It doesn't matter. Both are correct. Okay, so as I said, 3 ways to tell if the lamb is moon or sun. Number 1, if the lamb has sukun on the top, then it's moon. If it doesn't have, then it's sun. Number 2, by looking at the letter that follows. Number 3 is to look at the letter if it has shadda, or that follows if it has shadda or not. If it has shadda, then it's sun lamb. Doesn't have shadda, then it's a moon lamb. Okay. The second part of the homework is to distinguish between wasl Hamza and qata Hamza. Hamza al-qata and Hamza al-wasl. You look at the letter on the top of the alif. If it's like this, if it is like this, then it is, if it's like this, then it is wasl. It is Hamza al-wasl. If it's like this. But if it's like that, then it's Hamza al-qata. Okay? So this one, it's Hamza al-wasl. Because of the mark, look at the top of the alif. Here it's Hamza al-qata. Because it has on the top of the alif, there is actual Hamza. And here it's an actual Hamza, so it's qata. Here it's actual Hamza, so it's not an actual Hamza, it's Hamzatul Wasl, so it's a Wasl Hamza, and so forth. This way you can tell which is which. Okay, and then if it has alif lam, then you determine if it's a moon or not. Here there is no alif lam, so I put none. Here there is no alif lam, put none. Here there is no alif lam, so I put none. Here no alif lam, I put none. Here there is alif lam. Then I put the type, the lam type. As I said, once you see a shadda, once you see the letter that follows doesn't have a shadda, then it's qamariya. Or you can go to the book. The letter is dhal. Dal is shamsiyya. Okay, dhal means it's shamsiyya. So you put sun. And here there is Hamza type. You can see on the top, it's wasl. Okay. So forth. And here, the translation. You take this to the Google Translator. You paste it, then and Allah. Okay. All right. There is another way to do the translation. which is through Google Translator. So you bring Google, Google search. So you bring google.com search, and you write here, translate to Arabic, the word sun. So it comes to you translated, and also transliterated. So if you can say it as Shams. So transliterated, this is called transliteration, where it's the Arabic pronunciation using English letters. And here the sun. Okay, so that's translated. Or you can say, translate to Arabic Ash-Shams. Translate to English, I'm sorry. Shams. So it gives you the translation. And here's another translator. Translate to Arabic. And there are so many translators. There are so many translators. So translate.com. The Shams, translate the sun. Okay. It also gives you more examples. Okay. There are so many translators other than Google Translator. Just by doing Google search, you get to them. This is another translation, another dictionary. You can add bookmark, translator dictionary. You can add the bookmark, WI school, add page. So you have a bookmark there. Actually, WI school, Arabic, put a bookmark for this website. And you can put this website too. Add it. So you can use them later. Do we have any other one? Yes, we have this one. You can also add it. Here. and please. Google Translator, by the way, also can pronounce.
And Allah. Wallahi. Wallahi.
Sana.
الشمس. الشمس.
All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.